Hello everyone, welcome to this next YouTube video. Today we're going to talk about shaft lean at address and the correct shaft lean that I believe you should incorporate within your putting stroke. Let's get into the video. So when we're talking about shaft lean at address, we're talking about the amount of shaft lean we have either towards our lead foot or lean we have towards our trail foot. Okay. Now, the first thing to obviously notice is when we have shaft lean that moves too much to our lead foot, that actually then de-lofts the face. So if I show you from up here, you can see how when I move that shaft towards my lead foot, that face shuts down. Okay, and that's a big thing to notice already. When you're, say if the shaft's set a little bit too much to your lead foot and you're sort of hitting down into the ball, then that ball is going to actually dig into the ground a little bit too early and then maybe pop up, and that can actually cause the ball to bobble. Okay, if we have our shaft lean a little bit too much to our trail foot, so it looks a little bit more like this. So again, if I get it up here and I move it back, you can see that that actually then increases the loft. So then what that can do is that can add too much loft to the ball. Okay, so it means your launch conditions aren't going to be optimal again. Just like when it's down here, that isn't optimal, and this isn't optimal either. This is going to be launching it in the air. So this is going to mean the ball is spending way too much time in the air. Okay, so when we're talking about shaft lean, it's really important to try and ensure that we don't have really any shaft lean either way. Okay, because that's going to manipulate the loft quite a lot. Cool, so here's a little close-up for you guys to see what adding loft and adding decreasing the shaft lean towards our trail foot and then sort of adding shaft lean towards our lead foot does. Okay, so I'm just going to show you now how that affects more the start line on the ball. We obviously covered the loft, so when we move it this way, that adds loft. When we move it this way, that decreases loft. Okay, but I'm going to show you now what happens to the actual start line and the face aim. So if this is me set dead square, I've lined up the ball straight at the hole, so it should be easier now to see. And now you can see there the white line on my putter is perfectly matched up to the red line on the ball. If I add shaft lean, you can see how that manipulates the white line on the putter, and it actually moves it more towards the right. And that's because when we de-loft the face, it actually opens a little bit. Okay, vice versa, if I'm going to add loft, you can see how that white line just points a little bit to the left, and that's just me moving my hand back. It's moving the shaft lean more towards my trail foot. So again, if I'm like this then actually sets the face up more towards the left. So I may have to adjust myself if I'm going to set up like this in order to get the face pointing straight. Vice versa, again, if I go de-loft, point to the right, if I want to add a bit of shaft lean, then I may have to adjust my stance, may have to adjust my hand position, and just try and get it dead square. But you can just see there, if everything else is neutral, adding loft points to the right, decreasing loft points to the left. Okay, so that's why it's really important, I feel, to have a very neutral shaft lean and having this shaft pointing to the center of our chest. So I hope you enjoyed that video on shaft lean, and I hope that cleared up a few things for you. Okay, obviously you see a few guys on tour, they have a slight bit of shaft lean, and it's absolutely fine to have a slight bit of shaft lean. I'm not saying take it out completely and have a dead neutral shaft. A little bit of shaft lean is fine, but you just got to make sure that you understand what the cause and effect is. Okay, so if you want to have a bit of shaft lean, you may have to compensate for something elsewhere. Okay, which is again absolutely fine, and if it suits your style of stroke and your tendencies, then go for it. Keep on with the shaft lean. But I think it's really important, and that's why I've done this video, just so you know what adding loft does in causing the shaft lean to move more towards the trail foot, and then moving the shaft more towards the lead foot does, okay, and how that affects the launch conditions and the start line of the ball. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Like and subscribe. Leave some questions in the comment section below on some videos you would like to see. Shaft lean was actually one of the videos that came up, and it's been coming up, so I've managed to get it out there finally. Yeah, any videos you want to see, any tips you want me to touch on, anything you're struggling with in your own putting, drop it in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Yeah, apart from that, like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you guys soon.